Hello, everyone. This is Monsef Afkar, and thank you so much for joining us in this new call of Your Divine Uniqueness. I'm very happy to have you with us. Thank you for your presence, for sharing with us this time and space. And also very excited that Matthew John is back on the show. Um, I think many of you already know him, as he joined us several times before in the past seasons. And how to say, like every time we receive really great feedback from some of you who either joined the live call or the replay, or maybe worked with him like through his program or one-on-ones. And also, how to say, I also love the message that he brings and how he works with his clients, because I worked with him before on a one-on-one, and also I used maybe a couple of his classes. And how to say, I really love how he explains the spiritual aspects, and also sorry, someone, Eva, if you can mute yourself. Yeah. So I love like the practicality in which he approaches the spiritual subjects, because sometimes it can be how to say, difficult to understand. And also I love the space he holds through the one-on-ones. Like he guided me through a journey to connect with my star family, like the different star families I'm connected to, and also the most strongest one that I mean the one I have the strongest connection with. And it was really amazing journey, very inspiring, and also bringing a lot of clarity and awareness about who I am and what I'm bringing here. So that was very helpful, and yeah, very excited that he's back. And for those of you who are new to him, he is an internationally recognized spiritual teacher, spiritual mentor, intuitive, psychic, medium, intuitive astrologer, starseed guide, energy healer, medical intuitive, and spiritual life coach, working with angels, with angels and ascended masters. He is a gifted intuitive, wisdom channeler, and transmitter of healing frequencies. And today's call will be about rediscovering our healing and psychic gifts from other lifetimes. So he will be teaching us about that subject, about like how we are connected to the past lives, and how maybe what kind of gifts that we can connect to and bring in here into this this present lifetime. And also he will be talking about the challenges that we may face in rediscovering or maybe reestablishing this connection, and how like soul contracts can affect that, and also how to accelerate this connection. And in addition to that, we'll have a Q&A where you can ask for readings. So Matthew will be doing one-on-one readings for some of the live callers. And for that, you can raise your hand on Zoom app by clicking on reactions, then raise hand. If you are on the phone, you can raise your hand by pressing *9. And also you can type your questions on the chat boxes, both on Zoom and YouTube. And yeah, so with that, Matthew, welcome back to the show. Happy to have you with us today.
Yes, I'm really thrilled to be back. Thank you for welcoming me back, Monsef. I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Yeah, wonderful. And yeah, so maybe I shared little bits from your bio, but just for those who are new to you, would you like to share something about your work, like more specific?
Yeah, my work is very multifaceted. I get a lot of compliments and testimonials from people, about how they enjoy my work because I seem to kind of know about everything. So it's been a long journey to get from, I didn't grow up very psychic. I didn't grow up very skilled in all this spiritual stuff. I just kind of was a normal teenager and a normal young guy until I had my spiritual awakening. And since then, I've just gone on this kind of frenzied journey of wanting to discover absolutely everything possible that I can and learn everything possible. And I think one of the unique things about me is I have learned almost everything pretty much on my own through connecting with my own higher self and with my guides. And so I, present things a lot of times in a little bit of a different way than other teachers do. And there's a lot of people that really appreciate that. My teaching style is very complete and in depth. I like to take a lot of time on everything. My ascending is one calls, which we'll be telling people about later in today's calls, are 3 hours or sometimes even longer, because I really want to give every topic the depth I feel it deserves. So yeah, I'm kind of the multifaceted jack of all trades spiritual teacher, and I'm also very gifted in my psychic and intuitive and healing skills, and that'll be the topic of today's call.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing about that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I agree with everything you shared about the way you approach your teaching. And yeah, I really love your style of teaching. And yeah, so about our subject, which is our healing and psychic gifts, and um, how to connect with those from our past lives. So I would love maybe if you can start by talking about like this relationship with past lives and what we can learn from that.
Absolutely. And just before I do, I just
Yes.
wanted to say, my thoughts and prayers have been with Morocco.
Thank you.
I know it's been a really difficult time the last few weeks since the tragedy, and just my condolences to the country in general. I know, you shared that your family is safe, which was really relieving for me to hear. We've been doing group prayer circles on Ascending as One, and Morocco's been in my thoughts, since the tragedy. So I just wanted to share that.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So, yes, healing gifts from past lives. So this is an exciting topic. So for me, like I'll kind of share, I guess, why I feel inspired to teach this topic. So I'm such a deep thinker, as I already kind of shared. I'm a Virgo moon. I'm also an astrologer, as some of you know. Some of you might now know. So for me, anyone that has a Virgo moon or Virgo Mercury or even a Virgo rising or even a Virgo sun, you might really resonate with being that deep analytical type thinker where you're always analyzing and reanalyzing not just what's out there and the information you're taking in, but your own journey, your own life story, your own thoughts, your own consciousness. And sometimes it's quite exhausting, to be honest. But for me, I look back and I look at, okay, the progression of my psychic intuitive gifts developing, because it's something that people ask me all the time, how did it start for you? And, for me, there were several awakening moments I've shared before in the show. There were several awakening experiences that kind of after that, I started having little glimpses of things, right? But for me, it was kind of like this. If I were to put it out into a graph, it would be like this, little glimpses, little glimpses, little glimpses. And then boom, at one point, it just absolutely took off. And when it absolutely took off, I think about, okay, why? Why then? For me, it was actually after, it was right before and right after my most recent, most intense dark night of the soul, where I had nothing figured out at a certain point. My health was not good. I had no money. I was, living in another country and feeling kind of lost and lonely. And I had no idea where I was going in life. And I was even, feeling suicidal sometimes. And it was right before that my gifts had really started to, I was doing some work with spiritism, with ayahuasca, and my gifts had started to open. And I started to be amazed, like, whoa, like, I can't believe I just got that. I just got that. Oh yeah. You just had that breakup with that guy and he looked like this. And, oh, I can't believe that I was just able to kind of receive that when you gave that to me telepathically. But through the dark night, I then there was so much confusion involved that I felt like I even lost it in certain ways. And then sometimes I feel like I was even more open than before. Then sometimes it was all illusion. And it was just this time of like, and that's what the dark night is. The dark night of the soul is this time of just disillusionment, confusion, not knowing what's up and what's down. And on the other side of that, and in astrology, you shouldn't surprise anyone out there who, has a intermediate understanding of astrology, that this was before, during, and after my first Saturn return. When the Saturn return comes around every 29 and a half years, around that time, you generally have a dark night of the soul in one way or another. And on the other side of that, you're kind of a new person, which is what happened for me. So, and when I look at, in terms of astrology, it's like dividing your life into 3 or 4 acts, right? Act 1 up until 29, act 2 up until 58, act 3, if you're lucky, up until 87, right? And if you're lucky, you get act 4. And now with new medical technology, new spiritual healing technology, who knows, we'll start to have acts 5, 6, and 7, right? But for me, I look back and analyze like, okay, why at that point did the gifts really start to kick on? Because after, on the other side, the dark night, on the other side, the Saturn return, I started finding, whoa, this is like really easy all of a sudden. And that's when I started downloading all of these different gifts and skills that I do now professionally. And things like the soul plan reading, where I started being able to just see in my mind's eye, okay, a kind of a map of someone's life plan and things that are meant to happen. I started to receive why did the soul plan out these certain events or obstacles in one's life? I started all of a sudden being able to see soul contracts. Okay, what is it that, this person and their wife or girlfriend are supposed to learn from each other? Who were they in past lives? Started seeing visions going back through time of who they were. And then, speak of generations, being able to see back through someone's ancestral lineage to generations they might not have even been aware of. And then things like being able to see inside someone's physical vessel. I call like a spiritual MRI, which I do in my medical intuitive work. Being able to see where someone's soul comes from in the stars, right? Which is my Starseed work. And just all of this stuff has started coming like this. And so just looking back and self-analyzing and questioning why did it happen then? And why was it so easy for me? Because I do acknowledge that it probably has been easier for me to develop these gifts with little to no training, just the training being through my own consciousness and my own practice, in this game of life, versus others who seem to want to be able to have similar skills, but they just seem like it's much more difficult for them. And it is true. Some people are naturally more gifted in certain areas of psychic, spiritual, and healing gifts than others. It's like, athletes. I mean, who else in the world can, kick a soccer ball or a football like Lionel Messi, right? He's one of a kind. And anyone that's reached the top levels of soccer or football throughout the world, right? It's a gift. It's a gift to be able to be that coordinated with one's feet and one's legs to be able to pinpoint a soccer ball like they do, right? And just like they're gifted in that sense, there are certain people that are more inherently gifted than others, and it will just be a little bit easier and a little bit quicker for them. However, I believe, and I have evidence to support, that anyone can absolutely develop the same skills that I've been able to develop. Literally anyone on the planet, if with the proper training. It's just that for some, it may take more time, it may take more effort, it may take more practice, it may take more, coaching and assistance from certain teachers. And that's kind of a big part of the role I'm here to play, is to be able to bring people along and help them to get to where I'm at with my psychic and healing abilities. So the question came to mind for me is like, okay, could it be something from other lifetimes that made it so quick for me, that made me be able to develop this sort of stuff with little training. Because to me, again, looking at like, Lionel Messi, or looking at, Rory McIlroy or Tiger Woods, or, or looking at, the most talented musicians in the world, right? Looking at Beethoven and Mozart, these people were so natural, Einstein, Tesla, these people are so naturally talented that you have to think there was something in a past life that kind of put them ahead of the game, right? Where whenever they got into whatever they were interested in, their art or their science or whatever, in their physical life, it just came like that. And that is exactly what I found, that whatever talent and skill it is, whether it's psychic and healing abilities, which is the topic of our call today, or it's art or music or sport or science or mathematics or whatever it is, people that are naturally very adept at a certain skill or art or talent absolutely had already worked on that a lot in one or more other lifetimes. And so it's like they're already here. They don't remember it, but they're already here. And so they can just, start where they left off, rather than someone that hasn't had that experience and kind of has to start from the beginning. Right. So absolutely. And then when that question at some point came to mind for me, I started meditating on it. And, I saw the visions of like, okay, yes, I was in Lemuria and I was regarded as a very, well-respected spiritual teacher. And I was there teaching students. I was there bringing people along. I was there, giving healings and receiving prophecies and receiving information for the collective. And so obviously it's going to be natural for me to start to do similar things in this life. And there were other lifetimes as well. For example, I'm a Wiccan witch, and I have been ever since the beginning of my spiritual awakening. I felt very called to witchcraft, and especially Wiccan witchcraft, kind of with lineages going back to Celtic times, the Celtic culture. And I am also part Irish, and that runs in my ancestral lineage. But why did I feel so called to specifically Celtic magic, right? Well, it's because I was a druid witch in another lifetime, right? And then I learned about the meaning of, this is neither here nor there, but the meaning of what St. Patrick's Day is really about, who St. Patrick really was when he was when he was in the body. Go read about that if you're also a pagan or a Wiccan, and you may have slightly different feelings about St. Patrick's Day. For me, I just celebrate it as, I call it Irish Heritage Day now. And I just do not mention the name of St. Patrick because I don't personally believe he's all that great of a character, but neither here nor there. So yes, your healing gifts that naturally come easily with minimal effort, or you take one course and all of a sudden, boom. Like, for example, I teach my tarot course once a year, and the people that just get it, they just get it. And by the end of the course, they're doing readings as well as I can. They've done it before. They've done some sort of divination work with cards or runes or something in another lifetime. The people that it takes some more time and some more effort and may have more obstacles, sometimes it's they haven't, or sometimes it's the obstacles are so strong. Now, a great question is, why do we have obstacles around this stuff? So, as I said, one aspect could be that we don't have a whole lot of experience with energy healing or psychic phenomena in other lifetimes, right? Or it could be that we do have experience with psychic phenomena in other lifetimes, and there's some sort of trauma wrapped around it from those other lifetimes, or even from this lifetime. For example, let's say you were some sort of psychic healer, witch, shaman, etc., in another lifetime, but you were in an area where Christianity was prevalent or some other religion was prevalent that did not accept that. And you were ostracized and you were attacked. What if you were actually attacked for having your gifts, for doing your work? And this has happened to so many people, including myself. But for me, my soul just made it happen anyways, despite me absolutely experiencing that fear manifest at certain points while developing that, being faced with having to understand things like dark magic. And now that I understand it, wow, people come along and they have, black magic problems, and I can help them. I can point them in the right direction. So for me, my soul wanted me to understand the darkness and the light when it comes to witchcraft, the darkness and the light when it comes to healing modalities, so I can help people in all ways. So yeah, thank you, Data. I saw Data in the chats. This great explanation, Matthew, resonates with me deeply. Thank you. Yeah. And I think it can unlock something when you start to remember, because when we're just trying to develop these skills on our own in this life, it can feel like it's just us trying to do something, trying to learn something, trying to accomplish something, when in reality, that's how the ego sees it. That's how the ego mind or the ego personality sees it, as I have to learn this, just like going to school to learn biology or chemistry, etc. Where if you acknowledge that we are multidimensional, which we are, and all of us here have had many lifetimes on Earth, and many of us here have also had many lifetimes before Earth on other planets, like, Monsef, you and I worked with when we did your Starseed journey, then we can understand that it's not just us as an ego trying to learn how to read the tarot, how to read soul contracts, how to read runes, how to do remote healing work that actually is effective, so on and so forth. We can realize that as a whole, with all the different characters we've been, all the different roles we've played on Earth, there's got to be in there some experiences before of doing this type of work, or even just being assisted, being helped by someone else in this type of work, that we can access, that we can call upon in order to help accelerate our journey with this work, So that's one of my favorite things to assist people with, is when we do personal readings, which we'll do on today's call. And for those of you that miss out on today's call, or those of you that do get a reading, want to go deeper, the package B and C that we're offering both offer multiple private readings with me, and we can absolutely go into this exact topic if you'd like. But I love to tell people, okay, I can see this priestess type woman in ancient Egypt that was trusted as an oracle for divination. And because of that, I can tell that that is going to come relatively easy for you in this life. You're going to recall that. So if we think of it in terms of, as we're trying to develop these gifts, just accessing what we already know on some level. Sometimes people can get very caught up in protocols, and that's a Virgo theme. So for example, sometimes people, when they take, just one of my concerns when people go down the route of traditional Akashic Records readings with a set protocol to enter the Akashic Records, that may work for some people very well. And for others, it may be an unnecessary distraction. When I'm doing readings, when anyone's doing readings and you're accessing accurate information, you are absolutely accessing the Akashic Records. The Akashic Records is simply the records of all that is, all that could be, meaning other possible timelines, and all that will be. It's the record of everything. And another term for it is the field. We are all connected to one another, and we are all connected to everything in this plane, the plants, the animals, the extraterrestrials, everything, through the field of consciousness that connects us all. And it is through our unconscious mind. If you think in terms of an iceberg, the part of the iceberg that is above the ocean, that is the conscious mind. The part that's right below the surface is the subconscious. The subconscious mind is what creates 95% of our reality. Our subconscious mind is the attracting mechanism. The true law of attraction is that our subconscious mind will draw to us whatever it believes to be true for us. But below that is the unconscious mind. And this is like the most fascinating part of the mind for Freud and for, Jung and for the famous psychologists and even, psychologists to this day, because the unconscious mind is so difficult to access. It can be accessed through regressions, hypnosis, can be accessed through, experiences with plant medicine, things like that. But the unconscious mind holds the traumas that we don't even remember. It holds the memories of our time in our mother's womb, and it holds the memories of our ancestors, and it holds the memories of our past lives. So, and the unconscious mind is the connecting mechanism to what I call the field, or another term for the field that I believe Freud called it was the superconscious. The superconscious is that connection to everything, and that explains how psychism works. That explains how, whether we're using tarot cards or runes or scrying or simply just seeing it, hearing it, or feeling it, we are connected through the unconscious mind to the field, the superconscious, the Akashic records. It's all the same thing that we're talking about. It's the records of all. So everyone can do this. Everyone on the planet with proper training, with self-belief, with a focus intention can do this. Now, there are certain things that help. I mean, having your upper chakras open, the more open your upper chakras are, the more able you'll be able to do this work. During my Dark Night of the Soul, I really had gone overboard with doing too much ayahuasca, too much work with spiritism, too much spiritual work, too much shamanic work. But a byproduct of it was it blew my energy field open, and it blew my upper chakras completely open. And that's one of the reasons why soon after I started discovering, whoa, things are coming really quick now, right? But it was overwhelming for a time. So anything you can do, to more gracefully than I did, ideally, open up those upper chakras, that is going to help tremendously. Moncef, I've seen the shift in you over, because I've been doing your show now for a couple of years, and I can see in your energy field how your upper chakras have expanded more and more as you've, it started off just the show, and then you started stepping into your teachership. And I've seen the shift in you and how much more open you are, which I'm thrilled to see.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it took a while, but yeah, it was like a journey and also a process, opening like step by step. Yeah,
and I'm sure that like myself, I know there's been other lifetimes, and actually, I recall even readings where we talked about certain areas, certain areas in Turkey, for example, right?
Yeah,
where I had saw you'd been before. And I believe you had done kind of spiritual work in other lifetimes before in some of these areas. And right?
It was there 2021 when I feel a stronger connection.
Yeah. And so, yeah, absolutely. Just like myself and just like, so many on this call, I think, you had lifetimes where you had been that sort of shaman archetype, and others had come to you, to help them with whatever issues they were dealing with. And now that's reemerging. So for myself, for you, and for anyone on this call, if it's in your life plan to have psychic, healing, shamanic, intuitive, channeling, etc. gifts emerge, they will. Trust me, they will. And this is where divine timing comes in. Like I shared, my divine timing for this was right around my Saturn return in my chart, and it was around the context of a dark night of the soul. But it was necessary because I was meant to step into this role that I'm in now soon after. Because all of the people, and this is an interesting thing to think about, there's been thousands of people that I've had a benevolent impact on, many thousands, through all my social media, YouTube stuff, but one-on-one group calls, retreats, etc. And there's many thousands more that I'll impact in the future. And I don't say this out of ego. I just say this out of to help you guys understand this. If I wasn't ready, I wouldn't have been able to impact those people in that way. So there's what your soul does is your soul says, okay, at this period in your life, you're meant to have this positive impact on these people. It could be hundreds, thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, because it could be wide groups of people. The people that become very well known, for example, and have a huge audience are meant to impact that many people. And sometimes it's certain archetypes of people. Some of you, it ends up being women that were abused. Some of you, it ends up being ex-addicts or current addicts. Some of you, it ends up being women that are, going through their pregnancy and helping them with that. Some of you, it's men, helping them to step into their, most aligned power. And whatever it is, there are certain groups of people and there's certain individuals. So I look back, over the past 10 years and see all of the people that I've crossed paths with and that have had a positive impact on. And I believe that those were all like minor soul contracts, mini soul contracts that we were meant to, I think you and I, Monsef, have some sort of soul contract. I think anyone that I've had some sort of powerful impact on, there's some sort of mini soul contract there. And if I hadn't had my skills come when they did, how they did in divine timing, I wouldn't have been ready. So this applies to all of you. Your skills activate and become refined when they're meant to in your life plan. And that will happen when you're meant to step into the role of having a specific impact on many people. Now, we can apply this to life in general outside of the context of like psychic skills. Many years ago, my mother, she's such an animal person as I am. Animals are the most important thing, for both of us. And she happened to be very alert, as she is. And there was a dog that was attacking another dog right in front of our house. And she ran outside, started screaming, and got the dog away. And they rushed the dog to the emergency vet, and the dog survived. And the dog lived a great life after that. And my mother saved that dog's life. And the guy was so grateful. And every time he sees my mother or me, he always smiles and says, "Hi, how are you?" And it's like, that was a soul contract there that my mom was supposed to, think about any of you that have been in the position of maybe, you had to save someone in some way, or maybe you had to, make an important call in an important moment to help someone, right? Those are mini soul contracts. You were meant to cross paths to have that positive impact. Think about people that have maybe saved you in some way, right? Those are mini soul contracts as well. So it all boils down to soul contracts, to divine timing, and to what's in your life plan.
Yeah, that was on mute. Yeah, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much, Matthew, about that. And also, I've been noticing, maybe I did that in the past, and also sometimes I hear others like they want to feel their gifts like fully now. It feels like there's some kind of urgency that they just want to create it now and start. Because also like the idea of being in service, we have maybe in general, it's maybe offering a teaching or something like that. But it can be like maybe simple things also that we do in our daily life. And being of service, it's a lifetime journey that we are doing. So how do you advise those who are in that urgency state when it comes to serving and gifts?
That's such a great question, because I come across people that are in that exact place all the time, and I'm so glad you asked that. That, to be honest, that sense of urgency is something that will often actually delay. It will often make it more difficult to develop. Psychic work, healing work, etc., works best in a state of relaxation, in a state of your heart open, your nervous system relaxed, and also being grounded in your root chakra. When people feel that sense of urgency, a lot of times what's also with that is frustration. It's frustration. And what is underneath that frustration is feeling a lack of purpose. People are rushing because they want to feel lack of purpose. They want to feel a purpose, a strong sense of purpose, because ultimately our entire energy system, or the cells of our body, want to feel that purpose. Dr. Bruce Lipton, his work has been all about that and the telomeres of our DNA. And people that don't feel a strong sense of purpose, we can see that the telomeres shrink, and as they shrink, your physical body is getting closer to its expiration date, and as they lengthen or don't shrink, at least you're farther away from that expiration date of the body, right? So the sense of purpose is critical. So when people are feeling that, what they're really looking for is to feel purposeful. And exactly what you just said, that sense of purpose can be found in the everyday, and it should be found in the everyday. To be able to be psychic or to be able to do energy healing is just one small piece of a pie. It's just one small aspect of life. It's just one possibility of a way that you can have a positive impact. You can have a positive impact today. You could go outside and pick up some garbage on your street. You could recycle. You could call a friend, or maybe a friend wants to call you, and just listen. Just listen. People just want to be listened to very often. Just listen and be comforting and nurturing, right? You could go out and hug the trees. The trees want to be touched. The trees want to be hugged. They want to connect with us. You can build a fairy garden and welcome the fairies. The fairies want to connect with us. There's infinite possibilities. You could go and you could go to the supermarket and just buy something for a stranger. I mean, there's a million possibilities of ways in which we can be of service. And the more that we acknowledge those ways we're already being purposeful and being of service, actually that puts us in the vibration where it's going to be easier to turn on and work with our gifts. Because again, the vibration is it's a vibration of going with the flow of life, of relaxation. It's a vibration of allowing, of surrendering, of open-heartedness that makes it really, really work well. So, and if you are lacking purpose, then the solution is to, when you're constantly looking for purpose, what happens is that's reaffirming to your subconscious mind that I'm lacking purpose. When you're acknowledging that you're already being of purpose, you are reaffirming to your subconscious mind, or affirming to your subconscious mind, that I am already of purpose, and thus more things that feel very purposeful become easier to access. The same goes for when we think about other obstacles that people might have. For example, when there's some sort of fear wrapped around the development or the utilization of gifts. And let me know in the chat if this might be you, because I come across this all the time. As I said, very often, if not all the time, there's some sort of past life events that are wrapped up in this. Also often, sometimes people, when they were a child, were told, oh, you're making it up, mommy, I see a spirit. No, you're making it up. Don't talk, that it was like the water boy's mother, don't talk that devil talk in this house, Water Boy is an Adam Sandler movie from the 90s. But if there's that fear there, that's wrapped up, our default will be to, our subconscious will create our life around us where we will do everything possible will happen, and we'll make every decision that will make us avoid going into these gifts, because what our subconscious naturally does is it tries to form our life to avoid feeling difficult emotions. But when we reverse it and we acknowledge the fearful experiences, and this is where doing something like a past life regression, which I do, or just getting a reading from someone like me can be incredibly helpful, because the first step to shifting anything is to be aware of it. It's very difficult to shift something if you're not aware of what it actually is. And once you have that awareness and you're able to acknowledge it and even re-experience it in a less traumatic way, just in your mind, see what happened, feel what it feels like. Okay, I acknowledge that. And now I don't have to be afraid of it. And now I'm conscious of it. And now you can understand, oh, okay, the road is open. The road is open once I move past that fear. So the subconscious mind, it creates everything. And if we can work with the subconscious in a way that's going to bring us closer to where we want to be versus just working on default, that's a great direction to go. Hava said they love the Waterboy reference. It's just because I watched it like 3 nights ago and I forgot how funny of a movie it is.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Matthew. That was a really great explanation. So thank you for that. And can we move now to the readings?
Yeah. Let's do readings. I definitely have some more tips and wisdom and secrets to share, which we can do maybe in between readings. Yeah. But I would love to do readings. I'm excited. And what I'd like to do is, kind of read for, if you're open to it, read for you what I see as what your strongest gifts either already are or will be, and maybe some past life experiences that align with that.
Yeah. So, Kate, can you please unmute yourself?
Hi, this is Kate.
Hi, Kate. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining.
Yes. Do you want me to say a little intro, or you just?
If you want, yeah, sure, no problem. Yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, everything you said, I'm right on the mark, and everything really changed 3 years ago when my dad passed.
Yeah.
And then now it's been very and then from that, a lot of friends went away, a lot of other family members stripped away.
Yeah.
So now I'm really, I feel like at a 0 point.
Yeah.
And ready on a whole new path.
Yeah. That's what the dark night does. And, we all have multiple dark nights in our lives. And I can definitely tell in the context of your life plan, it's like, this is the valley of that. Right. And from here, it's about rebuilding, but you're rebuilding yourself and becoming a very new person in the process. So let me tune in for you, Kate, and thank you for being so vulnerable to share with us on our wonderful community today. Let me tune in to I'm just going to close my eyes just briefly and tune in and ask to be shown from my guides any sort of specifics they might give me about your healing gifts. So tuning into Kate. So Kate, you're going to, if you're not already, be a powerful healer, specifically working with your hands. And I actually see this not just for humans, but for animals as well. And it actually may even be easier for you to work with animals in certain ways, or even plants. So there are people that it's just their hands. And Reiki, have you taken Reiki yet?
A little bit, just kind of on my own, like you said.
Have you gone down the traditional path of Reiki 1 yet?
No.
Would highly recommend. By the way, I am a Reiki master. That was early on in my journey. Actually, something that blew my energy field open was especially my Reiki 3 attunement. I remember, and my teacher warned me. He said, "He's like, things are going to change after this. Are you ready?" I'm like, absolutely. And they did. It opened up my energy field pretty intensely then. But, as I shared down the line, it got even more intense. But that's the only thing I ever actually traditionally studied. That and life coaching. Those are the only two things I traditionally studied. Everything else I developed and learned on my own. And I really, there was something special for me about Reiki, and there still is. And, I'm very much a traditionalist when it comes to Reiki. A lot of people use the term Reiki out there just for energy healing. Energy healing and Reiki are not the same thing. Reiki is a traditional lineage that goes back to Japan and probably Egypt before that, and maybe even from extraterrestrials, who knows? But it comes in the modern era from Japan. And I personally found that so expansive. So I've pointed a lot of people in that direction to get them started when I get the sense that they are meant to be hands-on, that they're going to be very good at being hands-on healers. It's an amazing experience when you do Reiki 1, for example, and you start to really experience the heat and the energy and the light coming out of your hands. It's an incredible experience. So I would highly, highly recommend, to get you going in that direction, do Reiki 1 with a true Reiki master in person. Do not do it online. Do it in person, the traditional way, as it has always meant to be before the internet came about. And then keep going with it. And then you're going to find that you're going to work with angels very easily through that work. I just got this vision of you working with your hands and with angels behind you. It reminds me of Barbara Brennan's work. Barbara Brennan is another great path. I never went to one of her seminars, but I read all her books, twice. And they were tremendously helpful in me with my own energy healing practice, taking what I had already started to develop with Reiki and really expanding on it. And then I went way farther than that in my own way, working with angels in particular, which I still do to this day with my angel energy healing sessions. But that's where I would get started for you. You're going to be really amazed at how good you become at that with just a little bit of training. And let me briefly just check in with if there's a lifetime where I see you doing this stuff. So, dear guides, show me where Kate was doing this. You were a one life, at least. You were some sort of shaman in it's in Central America, so it's where the Aztec and the Mayan cultures would have been. My sense is it's the Mayan culture. And you were a man. I can see you were pretty short, and you were, well regarded. This was before way before electricity, in the village as the go-to shaman. And you did a lot of hands-on healing, laying hands, and also gave people different herbal concoctions that you created by going out, picking the plants, boiling them down, etc. And you would do like soul retrieval type work. And so that's one, and there could be more, but I only have time to share like one with people today. So, but if you want to know more, sign up for one of my packages, 70% off. We have a deal going, so we can go much deeper.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I have lived in Japan and I lived in southern Mexico. So there you go.
Wow. Oh my God. So you're gonna love Reiki. I'm telling you, the traditional Usui Reiki. And then there's other branches that you can go after you do traditional Usui 1, 2, and 3. Just do it the traditional way in person. It's gotten a little skewed, in my opinion, with social media, with the internet, where people don't go the traditional route, and it's not as effective, it's not as strong as it is if you do the traditional route, in my opinion.
Can I ask you about my sense of smell? I wish I could turn it on and off.
Sorry, Kate, if I interrupt, because
fine.
we have many.
Yeah, there's a lot of people on this call.
Yeah.
So, but why don't we, if you have more questions, again, package B or C. Package B has 2 personal readings with me. Package C has 3. You get 1 per month. So.
Great. Okay, I'll keep that. Thanks so much for the time.
Yep, you're welcome.
Thank you, Kate. Thank you, Matthew. And Dada, she's asking for a reading.
Is this in the chat or is this?
Yes, it was earlier. I would like a reading
Okay.
if possible.
Yes, I see. Is she able to pop on?
Dada, can you talk to? Yes, she can.
Hi, Monsef. Can you hear me
Hi, Dada.
okay?
Yes.
Hi, Matthew.
Hello.
Thank you so much.
Are we saying am I saying your name correctly?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
I am. Okay, good. Where are you from?
I am in Slovakia, Slovak.
Ah, wonderful. Okay, exciting. So just give me an idea. Are you, kind of already getting going with this stuff, or are you pretty new?
Not new. I've done some in the past, but currently for a couple of years, I'm not doing anything.
Okay.
And I'm actually feeling honestly that everything was escalating 2 years ago, and then it somehow stopped or it's lingering.
Yeah. Let me address that for the group for a moment before I do your reading. So I have come across this so many times in my career where people, they come to me and they say, I used to be able to do this and this and this and this. Mm-hmm. I used to be able to like heal people instantly. I used to, and then it just went away. What happened to it? It just went away. And I'm frustrated. I want it to come back. And I'm not saying that's necessarily where you're at, Data, but I've had people like that. And what happens is there's a lot of times in our life plan, there's glimpses. There's these really intense glimpses. And I've had many of these experiences where like, whoa, how was I able to do that? I don't even understand that. Whoa, how was I able to receive that? I don't even understand that. And then they are just glimpses, because what's happening is your soul is alerting you to, hey, this is the direction you're going, but it's not always going to be that intense. And then your role, your mission is to ground it. It's to ground it into the 3D where it's something practical and usable. And that's where training comes in, either with a group or with people or by yourself, like I did, which is totally fine, whatever works for you. But you have to be able to develop a methodology and learn how your intuitive systems work. And then you're able to use it consistently rather than just once in a while. Mm-hmm. So, but what those early glimpses happen because your soul is saying, hey, look at where you're going. This is your wake up time. This is the new path. You've entered this awakening ascension stage. But for you, let me just do a little personal reading. Let me connect with my guides and see what I can pick up for you.
Thank you.
Okay, so first I was shown kind of the past life context, and I get there were several past lives where you were, some sort of practicing witch, actually, like myself, and a woman in every time, and you were very powerful and very well respected, also even feared in some ways. I think one of the things that you may run into in this life is self-trust, and because like somewhere deep within your consciousness, you may have memories of misusing power. This is something that also I found in my own soul, Akashic Records, soul's history, misusing power, which is why I came across so many dark spiritual practitioners in my journey as well, and was able to understand where they're coming from, because that was something that I had dabbled with in other lifetimes. And that's why I'm so hyper, warning people not to use black magic, etc., because it's just not a good idea, right? But you may come across that where there may be some sort of distrust, fear around that, both misusing it and both being attacked for it. And then let me get a vision of where I see it going for you in this life. I see you hosting circles, groups, mostly of women. There might be a man here or there. And you are, teaching different things. So one could be a soul retrieval ceremony. One could be a shamanic ceremony for the moon. One could be teaching magic. One could be mediumship. I kind of see you teaching a lot of different things. I think if you just get over any sort of, I don't want to say it like that because it's easier said than done, but you've been in a little bit of this, I can feel, period of malaise in the last couple of years, not really knowing where you're going, feeling frustrated in certain ways with people around you, perhaps, or the world. And just having kind of try as best you can recalling the type of teaching and work you did in those other lifetimes. And if you were able to do it in this lifetime, it would really feel very good and purposeful for you. Is that, how does some of that ring?
Amazing, absolutely amazing. The
Yeah.
past information you provided has been, someone had done reading many years ago for me, and it was very similar to what you just said about the past.
Okay.
I think that's why the healing energy comes so easy.
Yeah.
I do not have a focus to do it.
Exactly. And really the most, one of the most important parts that your soul is trying its best to bring out of you in this life is working with groups. So, and it has to, you have to overcome certain fears to do that within. And these fears might go all the way back through your family lineage, but it's being in that leadership role. And when you find yourself in that leadership role, you'll find all this stuff is way more quick and effective than it even is for you now.
Interesting. Thank you.
Yeah. And if, like I said to the last caller, if you want to go deeper, which there's so much more depth, package B and C both have those private readings with me,
Okay,
2 or 3. So
thank you,
yeah.
Matthew. Amazing.
And also for everyone, one of the calls, with a package C has it teaches you how to work with runes, which is great. Package B, there's a live call coming up where we teach you how to read natal charts. So if you join in, it's not just about the private sessions, it's all of the classes. I mean, package A has got 32 hours of content. Package B has got 52. Package C's got 82 hours of content. And if most people, when they buy these, I understand you work, you're busy, you don't have the time to go through everything. But even if you went through a quarter of it or half of it, you would learn so much and you would be able to develop so many different skills very quickly.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Matthew.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dada. And thank you, Matthew. We will take more questions a little bit.
Yeah.
So would you like to talk maybe more about the 3 packages now?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I want to share the link. So everyone, I invite you to visit the link yourdivineuniqueness.com/Matthew, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Matthew. MATTHEW. I will put the link on the chat boxes on both YouTube and Zoom. And also there is the special offer button on the live events page, and also will be available on the replay page and on YouTube video description. So yeah, I would love if you can tell us about this package.
Yeah, I'm very proud to say these are the biggest packages, the most robust packages I've ever given for this show, for our audience here. And it's the best prices that I've ever given. And the options are really wonderful because there's something for everyone. If you just want an introduction to my work, do package A. You're going to get 2 months of my very acclaimed Ascending as One group mentorship program where we meet on Sundays. And you get 6 live calls on Sundays plus 6 recorded webinars. And, just a little preview, October, we got Healing Your Root Chakra, how to do grounding, how to use a pendulum. That's another skill that I'm going to be teaching you guys. And then December, we've got healing your sacral chakra, witchcraft and magic 101, more skills that you're going to be able to utilize. And astrology 101, as I said. Plus, you're going to get a whole bunch of recorded webinars, clearing your inner blocks, activate your maximum financial abundance, mastering your intuition will help tremendously with all of this stuff. All about angels, archangels, ascended masters, putting the past in the past, and the human energy field 101, and dissolving the ego, which is one of my favorite webinars I ever created. So again, it's 32 hours of live and recorded content, and it's 70% off. It's just 111. It's really an incredible value. If you just want an introduction to my work, do that. And actually on the live calls, it's not just the topic like Witchcraft 101 or Astrology 101. It is also, I start off the calls by going over all of the astrology you need to know. So everything that's going on from the North Node, the South Node, to what Pluto's doing, Uranus is doing, the eclipses, the full moon, the new moon, all the way down to the day-to-day. The moon is conjunct Saturn here, the moon is opposing Pluto here, so on and so forth. And I interpret it for you. Okay, Tuesday's going to be like this, Wednesday's going to be like this, Thursday's going to be like this. And it's just a wonderful, wonderful way to be able to plan out your week. You get downloadable notes with that. I do EFT tapping on each call. I'm also, as I said, I do everything. I'm an EFT tapping practitioner. I love tapping. I've been using it for over a decade and teaching it. So we do that on every call. And I do live readings and a Q&A at the end of every call. As I said, I'm a very in-depth teacher. These are 3-hour calls. A lot of people are like, oh, it's too long. I can never do it. And I'm like, okay, it's fine. Just join for an hour or join for 45 minutes. And you know what happens? Almost everyone ends up staying for the whole 3 hours because they're just really having a great time. And it's a great group. There's a Telegram group. Monsef's in the Telegram group. And you can connect and make friends with people around the world that are also doing Ascending as One. So it's a really, really great time. So just 111 to join in and get that introduction to my work. Now, for those of you that want to go deeper with me, you want to do the private readings, Package B has 2 private readings for you. You're going to get one during the month of October and one during the month of December. 20-minute private readings. You can ask me literally everything. You want to know about your star origins. You want to know about, what past lives you had certain gifts, what past lives your obstacles come from. You want to know about your relationships, the soul contracts with them. You want to know what's coming in your future. You can ask me literally anything on these calls. So you're going to get those 2 private readings. You also get bonus VIP only Ascending as One calls, where not only am I teaching a topic, but I'm also doing trance channeling. Again, another thing I do, I'm a trance channel, and I trance channel a group of 5 Syrian extraterrestrials every month on Ascending as One. And they always have fascinating things to say about what's going on in the world, what to expect. They've been telling us a lot of stuff about October, and they always have wonderful guidance to give to the group. And they also take questions from the group. And if you are on the live call, you can type your question in the chat. I'll momentarily, I'm in a channel, then I'll open my eyes, read the question, present it to the Syrians, and then channel through the answer. It's a great experience. But you get that, and also we're teaching connecting with fairies and elementals on October 14th. I love fairies and I love elementals. And December 23rd, that's our winter solstice group activation plus the Syrian channeling. You also get a whole bunch of other recorded calls that are going to help you tremendously, connecting with Lemuria. And in that, we talk a lot about people that have karma left over from Lemuria because of what happened at the end of Lemuria, and how that can serve as an obstacle to really bringing out your gifts. Connecting with Atlantis, same. A lot of people carry negative karma and fear and trauma left over from Atlantis, but also some people were at their most spiritually advanced in Atlantis, and you can connect with that aspect of self and bring that back in this life. And an overview of ET races, if you want to learn about all the different extraterrestrials that connect with Earth. The Mexican government just came out the other day with like literally showing the world like, hey, we've got alien bodies. What do you got, US, right? And so in this class, I'm going to teach you about all sorts of different types of aliens that people can be you might be a starseed from, and just different ET races that connect with Earth. EFT tapping through the 7 chakras, spiritual hygiene, cord cutting, grounding 101, a deeper level of forgiveness. So package B is, again, 52 hours of content, 66% off retail. It's just $233. And then the ultimate package, for those of you that are just feeling it, you like me, you like my work, you just want to dive in deep. The ultimate package is an extra month of Ascending as One, So you get January as well, plus an extra reading with me in January. So that's an hour worth of private time with me. You can ask me anything during those 3 calls. January, live calls, stepping into your highest vibration for 2024, healing your solar plexus, sacred geometry 101, and rune casting and Syrian channeling. You're going to learn so much in January as well. Plus, you get additional recorded classes, how to be a successful spiritual entrepreneur. Those of you that might be thinking of taking your gifts and making it into a full-time career like I have and Monsef has, how to move on completely from your ex, healing with colors, powerful visualization techniques, how to use your third eye, addiction relief for light workers, change reality by changing your words, understanding and seeing your past lives, navigating the dark night of the soul, and also guided meditation and other transmissions. So the ultimate package, I've never offered a package this big on any telesummit or any podcast. 82 hours of content. 85 hours of content. 85 hours of content. Again, I don't expect everyone to have the time to do all of it, but think if you did a 10th of it, a 6th of it, a quarter of it, you're going to just learn and expand so much. 69% off. That's just $333.
Yeah, wonderful. And yeah, I agree with you. Sometimes when we get a package, we think that we need to finish it right away.
No,
And-
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
I don't expect anyone to
It's,
finish it. What I'm doing is I'm giving you like it's like a buffet. Think of it as like a
Yeah.
spiritual buffet. And like when I like going Tuesday nights to the Indian restaurant and doing their buffet. Just fantastic mango lassi. And think about, okay, I'm gonna have a little bit of this. I'm gonna have a little bit of this, a little bit of this. I'm gonna do an hour of this, 2 hours of this. This one I'm so enthralled with. I'm gonna finish the whole thing and even do the suggested follow up. So yeah, think of it as a buffet. You pick and choose. And look, I have had people in the past that absolutely have gone through all of it and they've all raved about the work. You can see some of the testimonials on that page as well from people that have just, not just my private work, but have gone through the classes. So whatever works for you. And some people they don't have time. I get it. You're busy, you work, you got kids, and you just want to meet with me privately. This is the most affordable way to right now. If you go on my website, you'll see my prices for the full-length private sessions are, a little bit higher than they've been in the past. It's just a product of having more demand. And, this is the most affordable way to get private readings with me as well.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you so much, Matthew.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I said in the beginning of the call, I really love your style of teaching and how you go in details, because really there are some topics that we need lots of details so we can understand and also integrate these things. So yeah, thank you so much for offering those classes. And
can I answer a question in the chat real quick from Susanna? She asks, what is the difference between Atlantis and Mu? So Mu is another term for Lemuria. So during the last, let's say, enlightened age on Earth, which was 12,000 to 14,000 years ago, approximately that time range, right? There were 2 major continents that no longer exist. There were also other continents, but there were 2 major continents that no longer exist. One was Lemuria or Mu. The remnants of that are Hawaii. And one was Atlantis, which was found in the Atlantic, where the Atlantic Ocean is. And Lemuria was more geared towards the spiritual, the pagan, working with the land, working with the elements, what the indigenous peoples of our time in the past have been like, where Atlantis was more geared toward technology, integrating spirituality with technology and AI. And we're at the cusp of this, fascinating AI revolution right now. And so in that class that you get in package C, Connected with Atlantis, I go in depth into what happened in Atlantis, how they misused AI and how it led to it was part of what led to the destruction of the planet, essentially. So,
yeah.
Yes, and it's possible you can be in both. Susanna asked, can you be? Yes. Many people have had lifetimes in both. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. So yeah, thank you again, Matthew. And again, everyone, I will put the link on the chat boxes on Zoom and YouTube. And also you'll find the special offer button on the live events page later on the replay page. The link also is on YouTube video description. And also I want to share it. It's yourdivineuniqueness.com/Matthew, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Matthew, MATTHEW. EW. And can we continue with the questions, with the readings?
Yeah, absolutely. And Kate asked, did I pick October 14th for the one class because of the solar eclipse? I did not, but you're right. It is that day. And that'll make it extra powerful when we're doing that call. So
Yeah. Wonderful. All right. So Manisha, can you please unmute yourself?
Yeah. Hello, Monsef. Hello, Matthew.
hello.
Yes, I'm joining from London. Possibly
Welcome.
not that many people from Europe.
Actually, there are. Yeah, there's a lot of Europeans that end up working with me for whatever reason. Well, you know, I don't know. I consider myself an international. Influence. I don't want to just work with Americans. So yeah.
No. What's great about Zoom is we can join from anywhere in the world.
I know.
Thank you, Monsef.
Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you.
I'd be very grateful, Matthew, if you'd let me know what my gifts are and which lifetime they come from, please. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let me tune in and see what my guides have for me. So shall we? Okay, so the first thing they were showing me, and I just want to clarify, like for everyone, just because I don't mention something, what I'm doing, we're doing quick readings today. So I'm going with the first thing that they show me, which is probably going to be your strongest gift, but there may be many others. Like, look at me, I can do 8,000 things. So it's that for everyone. But the psychic realms, working through the crown and the third eye, connecting with beings on the other side, ascended masters, extraterrestrials even. I really see you, and I can just looking at you, I can see your crown is wide open, and I can see your third eye is almost completely open. There's some fear element to it that has to be worked through, that comes from some other life or even this life or something. And you probably was shut down due to religion in another life, maybe even in this life, I don't know, but there's something it's definitely in another life where the character you played had that. I can see, like a young person that was like telling people in the church psychic things, and they were punished for it, and they were told to shut up, and created that sort of resentment around that, and it's the self-doubt. And I'm sure there's other experiences of this, but you're going to be, if you aren't already, a really sharp, quick psychic, like telling people things, and especially connecting with the other side. So I'd highly encourage you to work with that and develop that for the world.
Wow, thank you so much, because I'm not from this field at all. I'm an interior designer, work with antiques, and I've done like Reiki, etc. So I know I'm intuitive, but I've never looked at this as a career. Thank you.
It doesn't have to, and I'm not saying it has to be a career. We're talking about gifts. They don't. It doesn't.
No, I understand.
Mean it has to be a career. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's something to develop and work with. And who knows? Someday, after you feel like you've made enough money with interior designing, you might just want to spend more time and just kind of do that. Do psychic work full time. Who knows, right? How it'll go, but those are going to be the easiest gifts for you, is the connecting with up there.
No, thank you very much, because
absolutely. And again, if you want to go deeper, I sorry these are so rushed, but join one of my packages and we can go much deeper. So
no, thank you for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matthew.
Yeah.
Thank you, Manisha. And thank you, Matthew.
Data from Slovakia. She said, amazing reading with wonderful direction. Thank you, Matthew. I'm grateful for your guidance. Blessings. Yes, you're welcome. Thank you. Also, if Lorenzo's still on, I'd love to get to him. And also Andrea, she had her hand up very early on, so if you want to make
Lorenzo
sure.
left.
That's what Lorenzo left. Okay.
There.
You want to do Andrea?
Andrea, can you unmute yourself? Yes.
Hi guys.
Hello.
Hi.
How are
Hi.
you?
Yeah, good.
So I thought it was funny, real quick, because I know everyone was saying where they're from, but I am also from Western New York. So I thought that was ironic because I've been
You
listening to your
are?
podcast. I am.
Wow.
I've been listening to your podcast for almost a year now. And I also have a black lab named Sebastian. So
Are you kidding me?
oh no, I'm dead serious.
Can you email me after and send me a photo?
I would love to.
That's incredible. Oh my God. What are you near Rochester or Buffalo or what?
West Seneca.
Oh my God. Yeah. Buffalo. Wonderful.
Yep.
Incredible.
Yep.
Incredible.
So I thought that
Wow.
was so funny because
Well,
I had been listening to you forever until I realized that you were from Western New York and
that's
your dog's
that's
name is
happened
Sebastian.
like a lot of times. It's happened like a dozen times. Yeah, where people
Yeah.
are amazed. They're like, and then they see me calling them for the appointment. They're like, 585. Oh my God.
Right?
Right.
Synchronicities.
Oh my God. That's wonderful. Okay, so yeah. Any specific thing you want to tell me, or just did you want me to just tune in?
I guess I'll stick with the theme today. And if you see any of my soul plan or that has to do with a past life and where I might be spiritually gifted.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, let me tune in. So, Andrea. You know, I they showed me so many different things at once. They showed me like um readings, you know, especially working with tools like the tarot or runes, being super quick with that. They showed me mediumship. They showed me hands-on. They showed me like shamanic stuff, like being out in nature. And I just get this intuitive sense. It's like you've done a lot of this, a lot. And anything, it's just that whenever the awakening happened, I get the sense it really accelerated relatively recently. And before that, it's like this stuff was just kind of, you know, like even me when I was, you know, a teenager, young 20s, like all this stuff was just covered up by just who I thought I was. And then as soon as it opened up, it came like a flood. And it's going to be similar to you. This stuff's going to turn on really quickly if it hasn't already started. And you're going to become very multifaceted like I am, where there's a lot of different skills that you're able to use. You're going to find a fascination with psychic work, with energy healing work, with, you know, sacred knowledge, with the Starseed stuff, with herbs, with just all different sides of things. You'd be a very good medical intuitive as well. Eventually, you'll be able to, like I do, be able to see. So it's going to come really quickly. And I'll ask just why is it going to come so quickly? Past lives. Yeah, I mean, there's a Lemurian experience where you would reach a very high level of teaching all this stuff, like in some sort of order of the time. And then there's other like experiences in India of working. There was a guru in India in another life that you worked under and became very adept at a lot of different things. There was another experience of being some sort of monk in Nepal. There's an Egyptian experience. So you've had a lot. So things are you're one of those where it's probably gonna come pretty quickly, all this stuff. And you're probably gonna become super fascinated and wanting to dive in every possible direction with it. So you know, for someone like you, I'd highly recommend my packages because they're so multifaceted and there's so many different things you'll learn, and you'll learn very quickly. And there's a lot of depth we can go into as well with the private session. So hope
That's
that
awesome.
helps. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Go
Thank you.
Bills, go Sabres.
Go Bills, go Sabres.
Wonderful. Thank you, Andrea.
Yeah.
And also thank you, Matthew. Yeah, I think it's time. Yeah, thank you so much.
Time already. Oh my God. Oh my
So,
God.
thank you very much for
Yeah,
your time, for all the support you brought to our audience. And,
absolutely.
And also,
Can I
like,
mention
what
the
you shared with
equinox
us.
before we go?
Can you say it again?
Yeah. Can I just mention the upcoming equinox before I go?
Yeah, sure.
Right. So, we're right at the end of Virgo season. I always, I got to get a little astro talking. We're right at the end of Virgo season, the end of summer. And, coming up, if you're watching live or watching this weekend, Saturday, the 23rd is the equinox. So it's an exciting time. It's the changing of the guard from summer to autumn if you're in the Northern Hemisphere. And it's moving from Virgo to Libra season. Libra season is about harmony, balance, and relationships. It's a really nice time. It's also about fairness and justice as well, and making things right in your life, having the talks you need to have with people in your life. And the equinox itself, though, this weekend, the energy, it's all about balance. It's relatively similar dark and light on the planet everywhere you are. And as such, it's a time to evaluate what is imbalance in me. Where am I balanced and integrated with things, and where am I out of balance? So where am I over focused and where am I under focused? Can we remove some of my time and energy from where I'm over focused? Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't, and put it more towards where I'm under focused. So if I'm over focused on money and I need to focus more on my health, or if I'm over focused on trying to perfect my health and I need to focus more on purpose and career, whatever it is, do you need to water your relationship? Where in your life do you need to water more because it's slightly out of balance? It's also the pagan holiday of Mabon. Mabon is a celebration of abundance. It's, traditionally when the wheat and the corn would be, harvest, and there would be big feasts and celebrations. Great way to celebrate Mabon is to eat, corn on the cob this weekend. Or to bake bread, or gluten-free bread if you want, or just to buy bread and have some sort of meal with your loved ones if you'd like to celebrate. So that's coming up. And just one other thing, I just looking at my notes here, I just wanted to say is it's another great way to kind of see where our gifts are and when they'll come about is to look at the natal chart, and that is something that I do in private readings, and also sometimes on the live ascending as one calls, is looking at all different aspects of your natal chart. But I can look at what's going on in the 12th house, what's going on with Neptune for you, where does Scorpio play a role, where does Pluto play a role? Things like that can help us point to when and how your gifts will manifest and what blocks might be around those gifts. Also the North Node, the South Node. So me being a very experienced astrologer, that's one way I can also help you with that. And another thing I just wanted to give us last minute tips is try different things. Don't think that you got to get it right the first time. You got to find the thing you're supposed to do. Try a whole bunch of different things. Watch different videos. Join different podcasts like this one. Work with different teachers and healers. And just, it's all for fun. And you're going to take something from every experience, and you're going to learn a little nugget from every experience, and then find what you feel most passionate about and find what comes easiest for you. And that's where your strongest gifts are going to be. You want to lean on your strongest gifts. My strongest gifts, for example, are clairvoyance, as you can see when I was doing the readings, and clairsentience, feeling and seeing. And over time, I've worked more and more in developing clairaudience, trance channeling, automatic writing, things like that, and other things. Lean on your strengths, develop your weaknesses as your strengths become stronger. Practice every day if you can. The reason I'm so sharp on this call is because I practice every single day. This is my full-time career. It's my only source of income. So for me, I gotta, pay the bills and support my family, right? So for you, finding that motivation to practice every single day will be the best thing to accelerate things. So whether it's a group like I had, suggested to Eva, or, whether it's my ascending as one group, on Zoom, or whatever groups you can find, or it's just having, people, your spouse, your partner, your your son, your sister, etc., that want to help you with this, and you can, kind of have fun and trade readings and things like that, or just reading for yourself, or just going out and connecting with the trees and hugging a tree and speaking to the tree and seeing what wisdom the tree has for you. Whatever it is, try to practice a little bit every single day. Go out and see people's auras, try to read people's aura colors, try to do a telepathic exercise with someone. Mansa, if you could, you could say, give me a number in your head and I'll give you a number. And they'll be like, oh, what's the number? Give me a color. Just practice any way you can. And another thing, a shortcut, a secret for some plant medicine can really accelerate this stuff. Use it responsibly, do it with an experienced shaman, do it in a way that's, legal, obviously, but it can really, for many people, accelerate things. It is one of those shortcuts. Just be careful with it. My experience, I went a little overboard and it took me some time to come back really and get grounded enough. But in the end, it was all meant to be. So those are my secret tips I wanted to share.
Thank you very much for those tips. They are very helpful. So grateful to you. And Hava shared appreciate all the pearls and sharing. So generous. Yeah. Joshua, thank you, Matthew. Blessings.
Yes, thank you, Joshua.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Hava.
Yeah. So again, Matthew, thank you so much for everything.
Sorry to anyone that we didn't get to your question in the chat. There were a lot of people on today's call.
Yeah, we had many people. And also thank you everyone for the time spent with us today, for being part of today's call, co-creating with us this experience. Thank you.
And I look forward, just by the way, with the packages, the first live Ascending as One call is October 1st. So for those of you that purchased today or whenever you're seeing this, you don't have to wait that long to get to work with me. And I guarantee you a spot if you do the private sessions during October for your first session, and then another one during December for your second. And if you do the Ultimate Package, January as well. So I guarantee you a spot. Even if you look at my calendar and you're like, oh, there's only 2 days left and I can't do these, just email me. I will find a way to fit you in. I do guarantee that.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Matthew. And again, the link for the 3 packages is yourdivineuniqueness.com/Matthew, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Matthew, MATTHEW. The link is on both chat boxes on YouTube and Zoom, and there is a special offer button on the live events page, later on the replay page, and the link also on YouTube video description. And thank you again, Matthew, for everything. And thank you, everyone. And I'm sending you so much love, and I will see you on the next call. Bye-bye, everyone.